Hi everybody, this is Bug-S Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the DC Multiverse Spoiler figure. So before we take a look at Spoiler, let's take a look at the accessories that she comes with. So first up, she comes with the Darkseid Lex Luthor head, and it doesn't look too bad. The paint's pretty spotty on it, especially the blue right there, and the skin tone. It's kind of spotty, and he doesn't really have a lot of paint detail to his face. It's just the flesh color and then the eyes painted on. Now, since I don't have the Super Lex Build-A-Figure, I did find a pretty nifty hack here. I took the Injustice 2 Superman, that horrible figure, popped the head off, and then popped it on. It's a perfect fit, like it moves perfectly. And boom, Super Lex, or Doomsday Lex Luthor. It's a pretty nifty hack. I mean, the blues don't match up perfectly, but I mean, it fits on there. It's kind of weird that the head fits on there perfectly. And it has the fabric cape, which I like a lot better than that plastic one. So if you're like me, this is a pretty useful hack for not having the Build-A-Figure. So that's what I'm using as my Super Lex. And for her next accessory, she comes with these considered nunchucks. I feel like it's not considered nunchucks, but she comes with these nunchuck thingies. And they don't look too bad. I feel like they should have used real chain right here connecting them. They used real chain for Lobo, which is really weird. And they didn't use real chain for this. It's just that rubbery plastic. Now, I am scared of moving it very much because let me get it zoomed in there. It will, break. It's very, very thin. And while I was posing it around, I noticed that it's getting weaker and weaker in between the links there. So, that does bother me. I would have preferred them use real chain. It wouldn't even have to be much, just enough to connect them there. That way, it doesn't break, because using rubber chain is never a good idea. So, here she is with her nunchuck thingy. And she can hold it just a little bit. It does kind of angle out of her hand. So it's not perfect. So now let's take a look at the head sculpt. So the head sculpt looks nice, but if you notice right there, the hair is painted on pretty sloppy. It's painted onto the hood. If you have it like that, you really can't tell. But if you're looking at her straight on, you can tell. And her face mask there is pretty spotty as well. It's kind of translucent right there, like the skin tone showing through. It looks like it's very thinly put on. But the eyes and the eyebrows look pretty good. Well, come to think of it, does her left eyebrow look a little bigger than her right eyebrow, like thicker? Like this one's thin, that one's kind of thick. I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe it's the angle. Maybe it's looking at it through the camera, I don't know. It just kind of looks funny. I mean, I do like it though, because the head is a separate piece, and the hood is a separate piece. So I do like that. With the Damian Wayne Robin, it was two separate pieces, but it looked horrible. Like, the head inside his hood, I don't know, it just looked absolutely horrible. But they did fix it with this spoiler figure. Like, her head looks normal in her hood. It doesn't look smashed and big like Damian Wayne's did. And this is an all-new body mold. I don't remember it being used. Well, it has the ankle rockers and has the swivel wrist, so I know it's new. So there's no reused pieces here. I feel like she could have done with a little bit of paint detail, because other than the black and purple it's painted on, there's no other paint detail. Like, there's sculpted detail, like, on her belt right here. And I knew that was going to happen. I knew she was going to drop that. But there's no, like, the buttons on her pouches right here. They're not colored on, and I think it would have been good if they would have colored it on. Maybe did a wash of black over it, especially right here on the strap on her shoulder. I think that would have been really good. Her cape is a separate piece. It is attached right... Well, is it attached? Oh, yeah. It's attached right here on her chest. It's glued down there. But she has this big square peg sticking out of her back that's supposed to keep it in there. Although it doesn't. As you can see, it barely goes in there. When you're posing it around, it definitely comes out. And she has a little bit of sculpting on her forearms right here. And a little bit on her boots, but not much. I do like this figure a little more than I'd expected to. This and Harley Quinn I was really iffy on buying, but the articulation on her is definitely better than Harley Quinn, especially with the wrists. If Harley Quinn would have had these double swivel wrists, I think that she would have been able to hold her mallet a lot better. The reason she doesn't is she just has swivel that can move side to side. It doesn't move up and down, too. So now let's go over her articulation. She has a ball-jointed head that can look up just a little bit, and can't really look down because of her hair. She can move side to side. She has ball-jointed shoulders that can move out all the way, and then some. She has swivel at the bicep, single-jointed elbow that's going to swivel. Swivel at the wrist can move side to side, and up and down. She has a ball-jointed torso, ball-jointed diaphragm that can't move back, and can barely crunch forward. Well, not crunch forward, move forward. And this strap right here does bunch up if you move it forward. Like, it's really gappy right there. So I'm not a fan of that. She has these weird kind of swivel hips. They're not ball jointed like Harley Quinn's and like Jessica Cruz and Batwoman. They're more of a swivel. They have that weird swivel to them. So she has those swivel hips that can move out that far. She can kick forward, quite a good bit. She can't quite kick forward all the way. And she can't move back at all. Her butt stops it. And that's the same thing that happened with Harley Quinn. It's kind of weird that her butt stops her leg from moving. She has swivel at the thigh, single jointed knee, swivel at the ankle that can move up and down, and an ankle rocker. So, I do appreciate that ankle rocker. It helps to get her stabilized when you're posing her around. Although most of the time I kind of just lean her against her cape like that. She is kind of leaning back when you're doing that. But like, just for the review, it's good enough. So let's put this back in her hand here. I figure if she has it in both hands, she can hold it a lot better. But just in one, it's not the greatest. There. So now let's do some size comparisons. Now that I think about it, I should have gotten Clayface out and done a comparison with him, but I did not. So here she is next to the DC Rebirth Batman figure, and I think she scales pretty good. Here she is next to Batwoman, but yeah, I like the size difference. I feel like Harley Quinn was a bit oversized. I thought maybe it was just the camera. I mean, she does scale with the Multiverse, and I think she scales even with the DCUC figures. But, you know, I feel like she was just a little big. And I thought this one was a little tiny, but after doing some size comparisons, I think she scales pretty good with the figures. So overall, I'd recommend picking her up. Like I said, I didn't think I'd be a fan of her. I didn't think I'd be a fan of Harley Quinn either. But they ended up being really good figures. My only complaint is the knees. They're single jointed. I feel like they should have went the Harley Quinn route and did the double jointed knees. These exclusives, I feel, were kind of like a testing ground for what the articulation would be like. And they're both good, but they could stand just some little tweaks here and there. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below. Thank you for watching.